River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.
All right, everybody. Welcome to a Victory Tuesday episode of Niner Nuts. I am Dan here along with Eric. Eric, say hello.
What's happening, everybody? Way to go, Niners.
Yes, we defeated the Cowgirls in the wake of our bye week now. We can go into the bye week at 4-4, but we will address that and recap that here in a minute because first, in our new tradition, we have to let you know how the rest of the week went. And I have all of my notes right here and going to kick things off with the Thursday night football game, the Vikings at the LA Rams. Hey, it turns out all you need to be competitive in this league are your number 1 and 2 wide receivers healthy. Who'd have thought? The Vikings have now been humbled 2 games in a row and are now suspect in all power rankings. Sam honestly has just been off in both of these losses. Just very difficult to complete anything I've noticed in these 2 games. And it's time for them to have some serious adjustment. They had their bye week after London, didn't they? I can't remember, but I don't know. People have figured out their offense now and something's got to change because I don't know. This is a slippery slope losing 2 games in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on the Vikings are pretenders bandwagon the entire season. Said that they weren't really contenders this whole time, and so far over the last 2 weeks, they've proven me right. As you said, the Rams just needed to get healthy to be dangerous. Look, they've got 2 really good receivers in Kupp and Nakua. They've got a really good running back in Williams. And Stafford, even though he's 105 years old, is still a really good quarterback. I mean, he can pass
on his way to the Hall of All Right.
He's on his way to the Hall of pretty darn good. He's not going to be in the Hall of Fame, but he's going to be in the Hall pretty darn good. They're a dangerous team. I don't know that their defense is any good still. I mean, they held the Vikings to 20 points, but I'd like to see them play a team that maybe is a little bit more kind of variety on offense. The Vikings are fairly one-dimensional. They're all just Justin Jefferson. So we'll see what happens when they play a team that is a little bit more balanced offensively.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting future. This is going to be an interesting future for both of them. The Vikings now have some chinks in their armor in a very, very, very tough NFC North, and the Rams. Who the hell knows who's going to win this division now?
Yeah.
All right, onward to the Eagles at the Bengals. This game, when it was tied at 10-0, I was wondering who was going to click and get things going because I really didn't know. Like, I wanted to give the Bengals a little bit of benefit. And it turned out betting on the Eagles was the right call because just like last week, the Eagles just took half a game to finally figure it out and get it going, take care of business. The Bengals are completely defeated at home now, sitting at 0-4. And honestly, I don't know what kind of hope you have for their season going the rest of the way. Their offense is nothing, and their defense is just going to get gashed if they're out on the field as much as they are. The Bengals just flat out suck right now.
Yeah, kind of the tale of 2 teams right now. The Bengals definitely are not good. I still don't know. I haven't watched enough of them to know what's really wrong with them. But there's something just clearly wrong with them. You've said it all season long that somebody poisoned the water down there in Cincinnati, and something is just wrong with that team this season. Eagles, they've rebounded here over the last few weeks, but they've also beat teams that suck over the last 3 weeks. Their last 3 wins are over the Browns, the Giants, and the Bengals. So I'm not really willing to say that the Eagles are back and they're a contender and they're ready to challenge for things yet. They've got the Jaguars next week. Probably should win that game. Then they face the Cowboys, Commanders, Rams, and Ravens. So we'll see what happens when they go through that stretch of teams. If they actually still look like contenders or they revert back into a pumpkin.
That's a hell of a gauntlet they have after Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And as we'll mention here in a minute, Jacksonville wasn't quite a pushover necessarily. I don't know. We'll save the thoughts on them for a minute from now. The next game, holy crap, Ravens at the Browns. Just what an upset. What an upset. Yes, the Ravens, I have preached a lot that they choke when you least suspect them to. This was not the case. This was not the game that I expected them to choke. The Browns still don't really have a shot at the playoffs just with how deep this hole that they're in right now. But man, what an energizing win for them. Hopefully they are a little competitive going the rest of the way of the season. And yeah, guess you should have been playing Watson. You shouldn't have been playing Watson all along, huh? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't take a real genius to figure out that Watson was the source of all their problems. So, I mean, you swap out, one person at one spot, and all of a sudden you've got your first, or not your first win, but your second win of the season, and you beat one of the best teams in the NFL. So, I mean, Winston's a pretty decent quarterback. He should have thrown 2 or 3 picks in that game, though. So, I mean, you're going to live with the gun. You're going to die with the gun, in Winston there. So is he going to lead them to some victories? Yes, he is. Is he going to throw them right out of some victories? Yes. Yes, he is. But is it going to be more entertaining football for the rest of the season? Yes, it is.
He's if I can diatribe for a minute. Winston is the second coming of Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I am all for it. I want him to retire and join a talk show or make a podcast really, really badly because I love hearing him talk.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also really enjoy the roller coaster that he will put you through. Like, he is equally liable to throw 4 touchdowns or 4 picks in any given game, but
or in the same game. I mean,
it's just a wild ride, and I loved watching him talk about the game and his pregame speeches that go on socials after the game. Just I could listen to him read the dictionary. I really, really like Winston. But yeah, no, he easily could have lost this game if Hamilton didn't have a brain fart on that last pick, especially. That last should have been a pick. But
right to him.
But no, this was I'll be honest, I just watched highlights of this game. I didn't realize this was as close as it was until one game I was watching cut to it, and it was like the 2-minute warning. I was like, oh, the Browns are about to pull an upset, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I declared the Ravens last week the best team in the AFC, so what do I know? So
Ravens are still really good.
Yeah, no, for sure. But anyway, on to the Titans at the Lions. I have so few things to say about this game. What else did we expect? The Titans are outclassed in every facet of football that can be measured. Goff didn't even throw 100 yards. I think he threw 83 and threw 3 touchdowns. And this game was just annihilation from top to bottom. Titans are in the running for the first overall pick, and the Lions look like arguably the best team in the NFC. What else can you say about this?
Yeah, the Lions have put together a stretch over the last couple of weeks that kind of rivals what the Saints did there at the very beginning of the season, right? The Saints put up whatever it was, 91, 92 points of the first couple of weeks. I think the Lions, I think they have equaled that here over the last couple of weeks, or real close to it at any rate or whatever. I mean, this was just like me playing football against like 6th graders. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, there's no way that the Titans were going to win this game. It just wasn't possible. I don't know what's going to slow the Lions down at this point in time, other than maybe just themselves. They look really, really, really good. The Titans are just crap on all sides of the ball. They should be trading anyone that they have at the trade deadline, but I don't know who you would trade if you were the Titans because you don't have anybody. I guess they have Ridley, but I mean, I don't know what else.
Oh no, they're not trading Ridley. They just gave him a $100 million contract. They're not trading him. They traded their only tradable asset, which was they had this linebacker that they gave to the Seahawks, I think, and they traded D-Hop. That's it.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I guess then keep on sucking for Sanders then, I guess.
Yeah, no, like right now the Pats are the number 1 pick, but the Titans are sure trying to, or actually the Titans.
No, the Titans got to be one of the number 1 picks now because the Pats won.
What about the Panthers though? Is it Titans Panthers or is it Panthers Titans? That's my
I don't know. I'll figure it out while we're going along.
All right, well, onward to our next game, the Cardinals at the Dolphins. The winner of my someone had to win this award. I give this every single week to the game that just hurry ups, just someone win this damn game. And my notes are, hey, look, Tua came back without a guardian cap and still didn't make the Dolphins much better. This was, I mean, they did have to make the Cardinals do a game-winning kick, but I mean, the Dolphins sure technically looked better than the pile of puke they were, but the Cardinals need to prove to me that they can consistently compete before I take them seriously yet. Beating Miami on the walk-off kick didn't exactly sell me on them either. So just two very uninspired teams that went down to the wire. That's why you won my someone had to win this award.
Yeah, I mean, neither of these teams is good. The Cardinals keep squeaking out these last second victories against teams, which is just absurd. It's not sustainable. I don't know. The Dolphins are bad. I mean, we answered our own question that we had last week, which was, when Tua comes back, are the Dolphins going to magically all of a sudden be great again? And I mean, I guess they scored 27 points, so I mean, they were better, but they still didn't beat the Cardinals. So
it's hard to not be better than Tyler Rippon.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, like, they were at home. Cardinals had to travel all the way there. I think it was a 1:00 game. I mean, like, that should have been an easy win for them against the Cardinals, and they still blew it. So, I mean, this Dolphins team is going nowhere fast. I don't think the Cardinals are still a legitimate contender for anything. I think they're just getting lucky and winning some games here and there. Plus, the new Call of Duty came out, so Kyler Murray is going to be distracted.
Oh, the only thing that makes me not assume that's going to happen is because Kingsbury's not the coach there anymore. And remember, Kingsbury had a very, very consistent track record of being above 500 before November, and then November and December flat line.
Yeah, he would just drop off a cliff.
So, oh no, commies. Oh no, I just put that together. Oh no.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, could be.
Oh, I hope I didn't just put that on Dan Quinn. Crap. That just, that's not good. We'll talk about the commies here in a second, though. Because we got to talk about our next game, the Jets at the Patriots. Even when it's Rodgers versus a rookie and a very pedestrian defense, the Jets still play like the Jets. May is earning some serious street cred for New England in their future, and honestly, like, just on a personal level, good for you, rookie. You took out somebody that we thought was just gonna wipe you into next week. Hashtag laughs and Packers.
The Jets suck. I mean, there's no easy way to get around that or say that. I mean, the Jets suck. I think we're about 2 more losses from Aaron Rodgers just quitting in the middle of the season and retiring. I mean, I think he's just gonna just be done. Like, once he's assured that the playoffs are no longer within reach, why would he keep playing? There's no reason for him to keep playing. I think he's just gonna quit on this team. Like, he's just gonna walk away and be done. So, I mean, I'm very excited to see that happen. I can't wait for that. He's not he's not bad, but he's not great. He's not elevating this team. Um, they're just a they're just they're just a mishmash of players that have been put together in like a pickup league. It's like an AAU team, right? That you just like get your all-star guy from here and there and there and wherever, and you put them all together and you expect them to be able to play together and just win the championship. And they don't know how to be a team. And it's very evident. I mean, there's absolutely no reason they should have lost to the Patriots.
I generally don't like Nick Wright that much, but I agree completely with the sentiment I'm going to steal from him. It's time to question what kind of actual leader Aaron Rodgers is in the locker room. Like, does anybody actually want to play for him? Does he inspire people? Devontae Adams said that nobody was cheering on the sideline after, I think, a touchdown or some big play by Brees Hall. Like, or maybe that was last week, but still, I just Aaron Rodgers is not getting anything out of any of these guys. And the coach getting let go, sure, Woody did it. I mean, really, Woody probably did do it. And why is we'll never get the answer. But no, just like in Cincinnati, something's poison in the Jets organization. And I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron quit because he's an emotional baby like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one person clearly wants to play for Rodgers, and that's Devontae Adams. I mean, he he forced his way there. But other than that, no, I don't think that anybody else really wants to play there.
Yeah, no, for sure. Anyway, onward to the Falcons and the Bucks, my secret crush team of the year. Just poor Baker. Even without Godwin and Evans, he still got this game within a single score. Otten went off on National Tight End Day. We didn't even mention that.
Yeah.
And Baker really tried his best, but Cousins couldn't let another upset happen 2 in a row. And the NFL gods and destiny have called for him to choke in the wild card round. So the Falcons got their tiebreaker over the Bucks, which is essentially sealed the division for them based on how everyone else is doing. Saints aren't going anywhere, Panthers aren't going anywhere. So this was basically the Falcons' unofficial hat and shirt game. So I just congrats to them, and I don't know. I'll still be cheered for you, Baker.
Yeah, I mean, Baker's playing well, but he's also one of those guys. I mean, him and Winston are actually not too dissimilar. I mean, they both just throw the ball around, and you're going to get a handful of touchdowns and a handful of interceptions from both of them at the same time, it seems like.
Yeah.
I mean, I think every week Baker's throwing for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns and 2 picks, or 3 touchdowns and 2 picks, or something like that. So, Cousins seems like he's finally starting to settle in and get into his groove with the Falcons. I still don't believe in the Falcons. You still couldn't convince me to put down more than like $1 on the Falcons on any sort of a bet, because the time that you bet on them, they just fold and blow away in the wind against whoever they're playing against. So I guess we'll see how this goes for the rest of the season with them. But I mean, they're loaded on offense. They've got weapons everywhere. Kyle Pitts, national tight end day, he went off and had himself a game, almost cost himself a touchdown. But we'll see what the Falcons are able to do as they continue their march towards what looks to be the division crown.
Oh yeah, Falcons. Just I say, unless a catastrophe happens, just go ahead and give them the NFC South. Like, now that they have the tiebreaker over the Bucks, the only thing I see that's a real problem with the Falcons too is just their pass rush sucks. But we knew that coming in, and they're still winning games because that secondary is really good. That offense is really good, and the only thing stopping them right now is themselves until we get to the playoffs. So
yeah,
just gotta see what happens. Onward to the Packers at the Jaguars. Wait, I thought the Jaguars only beat bad teams. Wait, crap. Did Jordan Love get hurt again? Malik Willis and Brandon McManus are gonna have to save the day again. And they did. Hey, so yeah. Duval. I actually felt bad for Jacksonville in this game. Like, they had the ample opportunity to pull an upset, and Trevor Lawrence didn't play like dog crap, and they still lost. Like, I actually did feel bad for them this time.
Well, I mean, when you lose your, we talked about this last week on the podcast that this team is going to go as far as Jordan Love takes them. And when you lose Love like that to an injury, this team is going to regress and fall back a little bit. And that gave the Jaguars an opportunity, to your point. Unfortunately, they weren't able to take advantage of it and make something happen. So, they still languish in ineptitude. I don't know. I think if Love plays this whole game, I don't think it's nearly as close as the final score here ended up being. But the Jaguars made it a game. The Packers had to fight down to the very end to get the victory, and they still hang on. They're 6-2, and they're marching along.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he rolled his ankle or something. I thought he rolled his bad ankle, or the ankle of his bad knee, and he actually pulled his groin, and they benched him in the third quarter. So, I mean, sure, there's no reason to not think that Love would have figured it out and taken care of Jacksonville, but yeah, no. Now we get to question the Packers again, because who knows? It doesn't look like Love can handle a whole season physically, like at least this year. I mean, not to say he's made a glass yet. I don't know. This is going to be really interesting now. The Lions and the Bears are the only really healthy teams in this North now.
Yeah.
All right. On to speaking of a division battle. Not that we were. The Colts and the Texans. Indy honestly came up with a pretty good game plan coming into this. Houston's got a very bad O-line, so just attack the weakest hole, keep Stroud off rhythm, and keep him off the field. The only part of that plan that didn't work was when Richardson came out to complement the defense. Just when is he going to turn the corner, Colts? It needs to be soon. Like, if the season's not lost already, like, we're halfway through the season and Richardson has not gotten any better. I would argue he's not gotten worse, but he's still not out of the basement.
He was 2 of 13 in the first half.
Yeah.
I could be 2 of 13.
He looks so bad. He looks so bad. And we're halfway through the season, guys. Like, it's time. We might need to have some serious conversations about Richardson sooner than later at this rate.
He's gonna keep playing. They're not gonna bench him. He missed his whole. He missed his whole rookie season, basically. So they've got to just let him ride it out, and they've got to see what they've got in him this season. They're gonna let him play. You realize his completion percentage for the year right now is 44.4%.
Good God.
That's atrocious.
God, Zach Wilson wasn't even that bad. God damn.
No, I mean, that's absolutely horrible. So, I mean,
his touchdown to interception ratio was still what, 5-6 or 5-7?
4-7, yeah. I mean, they've got Michael Pittman Jr., who gets like 1 catch a game, and they just paid him $1 bajillion in an extension. So, I mean, this franchise they got Jonathan Taylor, who they can't really use properly because teams just stack the box against them because they know Richardson can't throw. So, I mean, this
Taylor Taylor still honestly didn't have that bad of a game.
Yeah, but I mean, this franchise is just a mess right now. And I mean, they're just gonna. Richardson took a break because he was tired. I mean, like, this franchise is an absolute mess right now.
That's how I felt about that. Dude, you can't do that. You can't do that. Come on, man. You can't take a break in the game because you're tired, dude.
Need some orange slices.
Dude. Or have a Zen like Baker did, which was also hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't want to have a whole diatribe about this game. I'm so mad at the Colts. All I mean is that the serious conversation that they're having right now is that Richardson is going to have competition next year. Whether they draft him or free agent someone, Richardson's getting competition next year.
Well,
They have to bite the bullet on that. They have to give this kid competition if he keeps playing this bad.
well, okay. Do you draft somebody, or do you just bring in like a veteran, like a Jacoby Brissett, or like a veteran free agent to kind of be his like kind of competition, but not really competition? Like, okay, well, we've seen enough. Okay, we'll go to this other guy, but he's not really going to be competition for you. Do you do it that way, or do you actually bring in somebody to challenge him for the starting spot? Because I guarantee you, if you bring in somebody to challenge him for the starting spot, that other person is going to win because they're going to complete more than 40% of the passes.
Or you can't deny the fifth year option in year 3, but um, I I think all options should be on the table. Honestly, like this is the second year with a new coach, and Ballard's probably going to get fired already. It's going to be a first year with a new GM. I don't see how Ballard doesn't get fired already. Just I don't know. All options on the table. I think it might be good for him to have somebody that like, yo, if you're gonna keep being a starter, you're gonna earn it, or this veteran is gonna take it because you're not turning the corner. All right, so now all that out of the way, got that off my chest. We need to go to our next game. The Saints at the Chargers. I have very little notes on this game as well. All the even with the safety just given to the Saints, there just was no contest here. The Chargers just had to exist and not throw a pick on every drive to win this game. The Saints are just about as lifeless as you can imagine, and maybe Derek Carr brings some life to them. I'm not betting any money on it. Yeah, way to not Charger away an easy win, Chargers. That's all I got really.
Yeah, I mean, I guess now the Saints are kind of like the Dolphins were, right? Like they've just been sort of languishing away without their starting quarterback. And I guess when Derek Carr comes back, all of a sudden the Saints are going to get magically better. I guess. I
Yeah,
don't.
right.
I don't know. I mean, they got Olave back. They got Taysom Hill back. I mean, they had the majority of their stars and starters playing, from what I understand. So it was just their quarterback who was kind of the odd man out. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. I still don't understand how this Chargers team is really winning, but they continue to win, and they're making my bet on them not getting over, I think, 7.5 or 8.5 wins. Not very good. So I'm kind of sad.
Well, look at the division they're in. The Broncos are also at 5 wins. So the AFC West got the right straw when it came to schedule making, apparently.
Yeah, evidently.
Quickly now to the Bills at the Seahawks. Again, not very many notes on this. 'Cause it felt like the rain was going to be the great equalizer in this. It really did. It was it was a 1-score game at halftime, and then it wasn't. Maybe next time, Seahawks. They're not quite ready for the big boy competition yet. They've lost to us. They've lost to the Bills. They lost to Bills in very commanding fashion. They're just not quite there. Their strategy doesn't work, throwing 50 balls a time or a game. But you picked off Josh Allen for the first time, or Josh threw his first pick to you. So yay. I don't know. The Bills just outclassed them.
Yeah. I really thought that the Bills were going to take a step back this season with the losses that they had. They lost a lot of good people. They lost Diggs. They lost, I think Samuel was playing for them last year. They lost a couple other people on defense. So they had a lot of turnover. But Sean McDermott and Josh Allen. So we were talking about Rodgers, right? So I mean, like, here's the big difference, right? Like, Josh Allen really seems to galvanize and lead this team, and the players seem to really enjoy playing with and for Josh Allen. Whereas, to your point, doesn't seem as if everybody really gives a crap about playing for or with Aaron Rodgers, and that seems to really make a difference because I don't think, like, when you look at the rosters, like star power wise and like player wise, I mean, like, if you just went down the list and like checked boxes, like the Jets are demonstrably better at many of the positions than the Bills are. But here the Bills sit at 6-2, leading the division, running away with the division. Them and the Texans are going to clinch in like 4 more weeks.
Falcons too. Let's.
I don't know. The Falcons are only 2 games up, so I mean they're not that far ahead.
Tiebreaker with the Bucks. Saints suck. Panthers suck. I am joking, but but no, you're completely right. Josh Allen and Sean McDermott just they're drinking the Bills Kool-Aid and they believe in themselves when all of us included, just oh my god, the Bills are gonna be trash this year because of free agency and the cap. Dude, they look like it'll be a Ravens and Bills AFC championship because I'm just not sold on the Chiefs, but I mean football gods hate us, so it probably will. But no, the Bills look like the Bills look like it's up to them to make it the AFC championship the way that they're just winning games. So onward to speaking of the AFC West again, Panthers at the Broncos. Just to be a lowly Panthers fan, just trying to make it through a game without embarrassing yourself. And to your point, I'm just going to copy it. I don't know how the hell the Broncos have 5 wins with the way Bo Nix is playing. He's not as bad as Richardson, but what the hell? The Broncos have 5 wins. I don't know what reality is anymore.
Yeah. I mean,
except their defense is honestly pretty good. I'll give them that.
Yeah, Broncos defense is pretty darn decent. That's for sure. Bo Nix is surprisingly getting better. He started off pretty poorly. He's gotten better as the season has gone on. So we'll see what happens with him as he continues to keep going along, I guess. This was one of my survivor pool picks for this week. So thank you very much, Denver Broncos. Was very happy with that. The Panthers are just an absolute disaster. I mean, this franchise is, I don't know which franchise is worse, to be honest, if I'm the Panthers or the Titans. Like I'm unsure. Oh, by the way, it goes Panthers, Titans, Patriots, Jets, Jags for top 5 picks.
Okay. Because last I checked, the Patriots were number 1. Okay, that's good to know. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay. Yeah, honestly, I have no follow-up. The Panthers suck. The Broncos, it'll be interesting to see if they can handle some real competition, but I just God bless the Panthers. I don't know what's gonna save them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, are they gonna go back to Andy Dalton when his hand is better? Like, I don't know.
If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterback. They hate each other.
Yeah. So I mean, you just keep playing Bryce Young, keep sucking, keep tanking for the first pick.
Yeah, it's one way to do it.
Yeah, Broncos have Ravens next week.
Ooh, Mile High or Baltimore?
Oops, I just clicked off of it too fast. Go ahead and I'll tell you.
Okay. Well, if it's in Baltimore, they'll lose.
At Baltimore.
Okay, they lose. That you don't beat Baltimore in Baltimore this year. All right, Chiefs and Raiders. Chiefs in Vegas, where they just won the Super Bowl last year. Raiders tried. The Raiders honestly really did try. But Big Brother beats Little Brother once again. The score doesn't quite do it justice. It was a 1-score game, but damn it, the Chiefs just figure it out. They don't win pretty, but they win. And that's just the factor for them this year. Just how can we win? I don't care if it's pretty. What do we need to do to win? And that's what Andy Reid does. He's like, all right, I only have this many pieces. I bet I can still win, and he does. Just can't stand it, but it's where we are. They're 6-0, 7-0 now. I think they're 7-0 now, right?
Yeah.
Just I don't know. At least the Raiders gave them a run for their money and covered the spread, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you always like to say, division games lead to wacky things happening. And I mean, I think that the fact that the Raiders were able to make this a game kind of speaks to that, in volumes, right? Because I mean,
the Raiders were the last team to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, because by all accounts, this game shouldn't have even been close. And, here it is, a close game kind of, down to the fourth quarter. But as per usual, the Chiefs do what they do and they pull it out and make another victory happen. I'm just sick of talking about the Chiefs. I don't want any to say anything else.
Yeah, me either.
I hate them.
Me too.
Let's move on.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see when they play. Well, I mean, they did play Baltimore, but if they play the Bills in the regulars, I don't know what the rest of their schedule is the rest of the year. I don't know if they even have competition because the AFC West doesn't play anybody good this year, apparently.
Bucks, Broncos, Bills, Panthers, Raiders, Chargers. They don't play anybody really. They could actually go undefeated.
Don't say that, but that schedule, honestly, they might.
I mean, the Bills game will be tough. I'll grant you that. The Bills game will be tough.
Okay, thank God they play the Bills.
I mean, the Chargers, I guess, maybe.
No.
Jim
Harbaugh chokes in big games. You know that as well as I do.
Yeah. The Browns could be feisty. They play the Texans, which could be an interesting game. They play the Steelers, which could be an interesting game. That's it. So
okay, so a little bit tougher than I thought you said.
Well, but I mean, there's 3 games. There's 3 games across like 10 more weeks. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
Oh, I would be sick to my stomach if this stupid team goes 17-0.
I'm doing a bad job running the clock on this one. We're barely gonna have time to talk about the Cowboys. Bears and Commies. I will try to keep this very, very brief. Honestly, this was a hell of a game. The Bears defense is legit. I don't care to hear any dispute of that. The Bears defense is legit. They held they held Daniels to 12 points before the Hail Mary. That's impressive. And Caleb Williams scored 15 points. He sucked for 3.5 quarters, but push came to shove. By God, he got it done until the Hail Mary happened. Which my heart aches for Chicago because that's such a fluky way to end up losing a game. I don't put all the blame on Richard Stevens or whatever Stevenson either. Like, yeah, that's really fun to make fun of him for making fun of the fans before that. But I don't know. Congrats to Daniels. I'm not mad that he won. My heart aches for Chicago because that was such a fluky way to lose that game, man. After they had it. It took 3.5 quarters, but the defense did their job and they had it until the Hail Mary.
Yeah. Caleb Williams still not good. 10 of 24, 131 yards, no TDs. He's not good.
I didn't say it would have been a pretty win.
So they're winning despite him. Much like a couple other teams in the NFL are doing despite their own quarterbacks. I will 100% agree with you. Somehow the Bears defense is legitimately very, very good. And they're going to keep themselves in a lot of games this season because of that. Washington's a good team. Washington's explosive, and they kept them in check. And it just sometimes the ball just bounces the right way, and you get lucky and you win. And that's how Washington moves. And it seems like Washington is going to be that Cinderella team this season until the glass slipper falls off some point in time in the playoffs. And they're going to get their run, and good for Washington. Washington's a long-standing proud franchise and proud fan base, and they haven't had a lot to cheer for a number of years. So the whole Dan Snyder ownership really screwed them over. So good for them, going into this year having something to actually root for and be happy about.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't agree more. I am very happy that Washington can actually claim some relevance again. But now we need to talk about our game, the last game, because we don't recap Mondays on this. Sunday Night Football. We actually waited. I said this was James too. We actually waited all day for Sunday night to play the Cowboys. And it got a little scary there at the end, but almost blew a 17-point lead, but we actually held on. We won 30-24. And as I always do, quickly getting through the nerdy number stuff. Oh, I got rid of the quarterback rating. That's my favorite number. There we go. We held we held Dak Prescott to a 79 quarterback rating, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. My God, those 2 touchdowns came in just in time for him too. We almost gave him no touchdowns. Brock Purdy, he had 114 quarterback rating, 260 yards, 1 touchdown, and he had another touchdown on the ground with 56 yards. Yo, talk about some wheels. Almost
Yeah.
was our leading rusher.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, we held them in total to 56 yards and 1 touchdown from Elliott early in the game. And then in the receiving, National Titans Day, like we mentioned early, George Kittle went off. He loves going off on the Cowboys, regardless if it's tight end day, though, if I remember correctly. And then Debo came back, 71 yards, less than a week off in pneumonia. And then Ricky Pearsall, he had 38 and 39. So what is that? Not quite 80 total yards on your first game back or your second game back. You're actually acclimated and ready for the game instead of getting thrown into it. This is a great game for Pearsall too. So yeah, I'll just leave that there. And just, I guess my thoughts on the game. I was genuinely worried at the start because you see there it was 10-6 at halftime, and our offense was so out of sync. Something was just not right with the offense at the beginning. We were doing okay on defense, but push come to shove, like we just were not executing at all on offense. And I was texting you guys throughout the game. Purdy was either late on the pass, he sailed one pass that was nearly picked, and all the rest of them were just drops. Like, yeah, we weren't completely inept in the first half, but we had to settle. We had to settle a lot, and it should have been, frankly, a lead. But that all said, whatever meeting they had in the locker room at halftime, we just came out swinging, and we completely dominated the third quarter. As you see, 21 points. We got it together, but then Kyle's worst attribute came out. We were half prevent defense, half not prevent defense, and the first score, okay, we let CD score, let's get it together. Well, we go off the field. And then Jair Brown runs into Renardo Green and CeeDee Lamb scores again. It's like, uh-oh. Are we going to blow a 17-point lead? Uh-oh. But, I mean, in the end, we did finally get it done, and we looked like a team that knows how to be competent on offense again. Hopefully, the bye week being off, we get... I saw a blurb that said all signs are pointing to Christian coming back for the Bucs game, and then I have no idea about Juwan with his hip. I thought it was a groin, but it is a hip injury. Something we'll just have to see what the prognosis is after the bye week on him. But I don't know. We've been late bloomers before, and hopefully this is the get right game, and we go on a tear. We just have to see what happens. But it was kind of nice to see. This was what I was hoping would happen going into the bye week. We're 4-4. We're not out of it, and it's happened before. I'm not trying to be the blissful optimist. Like we could, it's not a guarantee, but we're in a really, really damn good spot in the bye week or going into the bye week, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still convinced that this team is in the pile of just pretty good teams in the NFL. You know, that sort of just averaged pretty good teams. I just don't think that when it stacks up against the big boys that are in the NFL right now, I just don't think that they're going to be able to beat them. I just don't see it happening. They're going to have to really get some marquee wins over this stretch of games that they have coming up out of the bye week for me to be convinced that they're really going to be able to make a real legitimate run here through the playoffs. I mean, I don't know. I think they can probably make the playoffs, but I mean that's not what we're shooting for. I mean, we're shooting for winning the Super Bowl. I mean that's our objective. So I mean, like, I want to see them. Yeah. So like, we've got, I want to see what happens when they play Green Bay. I want to see what happens when they play Buffalo. I want to see what happens when they play Chicago. I want to see what happens when they play Los Angeles again. I want to see what happens when they play Detroit. I'm gonna. These are all games that, and I say Chicago in the sense that Chicago's defense is really good, right? So they're gonna. I mean, I have no worries about Chicago's offense. Chicago's defense is really good, so I want to see if they're going to be able to slow us down, right? So, but how are they going to stack up against Green Bay? How are they going to stack up against Buffalo? How are they going to stack up against the defense of Chicago? How are they going to stack up against LA again, assuming that LA is healthy? I mean, they already beat us once when they weren't healthy. How are they going to do it again a second time? What about that Monday night game against Detroit? That's going to be a bellwether for us. I mean, if Detroit just dog walks us off the field, what does that say at that point in time? So I'm interested to see how they go through the rest of the schedule. Do I think that they can make the playoffs? Probably. I mean, it's going to be hard because there's a whole bunch of teams that are interested in this pile of 3-4 and 4-4 and 5-3 or whatever it is right now. And unfortunately, the 49ers have lost a bunch of games in the conference and in their own division. So they're going to really lose a lot of these tiebreakers when it comes down to, the end here, when we get down to the nitty gritty. So we'll see how it shakes out. I mean, they're probably going to have 11 wins to get in. Probably not going to make it with 10 because of all the tiebreakers. So probably have to have 11 wins to get in. I don't know that there's 11 wins left on this schedule, but we'll see. I mean, there's supposed to be a second half team. That's what they've been doing. It's what we've been going through going forward. So, I don't know. Debo got hurt again in this game. He had the rib injury. That was unfortunate. Hopefully that's not a big injury or a big concern. Hopefully that's something that can heal up over the bye week and he can come back from that. Getting Juwan back would be helpful because Conley and Bell did absolutely nothing in this game. They were completely irrelevant. So running a 3-wide set of Debo, Juwan, and Ricky would at least be reasonable to roll out there, and would be something that we could at least be effective with, I think.
I think Juwan would add a little bit more than it sounds like you like. I understand like Juwan is.
Oh no, I'm
Juwan,
not crapping on him. No,
but
I think he would be a good addition. I'm not crapping on him at all. I'm just saying that, like,
I was gonna say we know his ceiling. We saw it in LA. We saw that he can be that elite.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying, like, beyond those three, like, we have nothing.
Yeah.
So we're just very, very
No, for
thin.
sure.
And I'm just very concerned about the injury history because Juwan hasn't seemed to have been healthy all season long, which is unusual for him because I don't remember him having any sort of injury history before with us. Debo continues to miss his 3 to 4 games a season. So hopefully he's going to have those kind of out of his system and just be healthy for the rest of the season now.
Yeah. I think
Hopefully,
Juwan is. I suspect that Juwan didn't take on this workload because I don't remember Juwan ever playing this much up until this year.
yeah. Yeah. So no, I mean, I think if we have those three, I think plus Kittle, obviously, I think we're in good shape. I mean, I think that's a good receiving core for us to roll with, but we have no depth behind them at all, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
I would like to see us go trade for, I don't know who we would trade for, but I would like to go see us trade for another receiver and bring somebody in to just have.
Cortland Sutton's not going to happen anymore. Now that Denver's 5-2, that's not happening.
Yeah, but just to have somebody on the roster that has some experience and some skill and some real, ability that, I mean, we're counting on Ricky to kind of be this do everything kind of guy. And I mean, he's a rookie. I mean, like, we're really expecting a lot out of him. And he did play well in this game, don't get me wrong, but I mean,
Yeah.
he's going to make rookie mistakes. So I don't know. It
is a lot to put on him, even being a first round pick. Like it
yeah.
is.
Yeah. And I mean, supposedly we're going to get CMC back after the bye week. I've said a number of times, I don't at all anticipate CMC making it through the rest of the season. I just don't think that's going to happen. I hate to say that out loud, but I just don't have a lot of faith that that's going to be the way that this season is going to go. I pray to God that he doesn't get injured. I just feel like if nothing else, they're going to shut him down. So we'll see what happens. But it just doesn't feel like this season is lining up that way, for it to work. So I don't know.
It's very. It reminds me of 21. Like it definitely doesn't feel like we should. It doesn't. At this dude. Tampa is not a pushover, and we're going to be in Tampa. We're coming off a bye week, but Tampa is not a pushover. That could go badly. Seattle, it's always a competition with Seattle.
Mhm.
Like I don't care how we did last time. It's a competition with Seattle. At Green Bay, right by Thanksgiving is going to be cold. If Love is healthy, that is not good. That defense is really good too. Buffalo, we're just staying in the Midwest in another cold game. And this one's on Sunday Night Football. That Green Bay game might be the game of the week, too. So, national attention on us 2 games in a row in the Midwest.
Yeah.
This gauntlet alone is going to make or break our season, these 4 games. Because Chicago is Chicago. And losing that tiebreaker to LA and Arizona early, kind of puts us in a bind with all the rest of this coming up. Because, Chicago, who knows? That defense is really good. LA, it's in division. Miami sucks. But outside of Miami sucking, the rest of this schedule, no one comes close to bad in the traditional sense.
Right. Yeah. And I mean that LA game in week 15, that could end up being for the division. I mean, that really could.
Yeah.
That could be all for the division at that point in time. So, I mean, who knows where we'll stand at that point in time? I mean, LA could go on a run. I mean, they're 3-4.
LA made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
They're 3 wins now, I think.
Yeah, they're 3-4. So I mean, they're 1 game back. I mean, and they hold the tiebreaker over us right now. So I mean, that game could end up being for all the marbles come week 15, depending on how everything shakes out. So yeah, I'm just going to be very interested to see how all this plays. But to get to some of the more positive stuff, I mean, I thought Brock played very well. He did struggle a little bit in the first half. The offense just looked like it was sort of out of sync in the first half. Like you were saying, and we talked about in the text chat. So they just looked a little bit out of sync, but they got through that, and that got better. So that was good. Garendo, I have crapped on him a number of times on this podcast, but he ran well again. He didn't just run into the line and fall down like he had been doing. He's actually like hitting some of the holes and making some plays, and God love him, he's got speed. So if he can get past that initial, bunch of dudes at the line of scrimmage and get out into the open, he's making a lot of things happen. So,
3-time state track champion is what they said in the broadcast.
Yeah, poor guys had to take 2 touchdowns off of his own board.
I know, right? That's what I text you guys. Like, good Lord, he has to slide again, really?
Yeah, I would have just, I've said before, I'm just going in. I don't understand this whole kneel down at the 1 yard line kind of crap. But, so I mean, I think that was, I think that was good. I mean, I don't know that I'm sold on him as a replacement for Mason yet, but I'm feeling a lot more confident about him if we don't have Mason for an extended period of time. It seems that Mason's shoulder injury might be a little bit more significant than what the Niners originally thought, because he didn't last very long in this game.
Yeah.
Kittle was great. Glad to see that the foot sprain didn't slow him down at all. Debo was good for the limited amount that he played, but he loves playing Dallas and gets up for this game a lot. Wants to make a big impact and stuff like that. Like you said, Ricky, played good. And I thought that, I thought that the defense played well for stretches of the game. I mean, we didn't really give up a whole lot of rushing yards. I don't know if that's a factor of the Cowboys just sucking at running the ball or us playing good rush defense. Um, but I thought that, we really held them well running the ball, and we contained them passing wise for the most part until we just had those just stupid coverage breakdowns, towards the end of the fourth quarter there. But
Yeah.
defensively, I thought we did good. I mean, we got 2 picks. I mean, you can't really say anything bad about that.
My boy Demo.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be so sad when we lose him because someone outbids us for him.
yeah, a couple of sacks. I mean, defensively, I thought things were pretty solid. So, I mean, all in all, outside of just those blown coverages, I mean, I don't know how they did the one where the one side was clearly man and the other side was clearly zone, and like it just you set the
What
guy across, and it was just like, oh well, there's nobody over here.
What
So
the? I try not to swear on this, but I literally yelled, "What the f was that?" Like,
yeah,
just CD crossing route wide open. What the hell happened?
yeah. So, but
Um,
no, it's good. It's good to get a win. It's good to go into the break 4-4. It does give everybody a chance to kind of reset, regroup. Hopefully, it gives the team a chance to really see what's laid out in front of them and what's ahead of them, and what they need to do for the rest of the season. Get their minds right, get their bodies right, and turn this thing around and start pulling the weight of what they need to do, through here to the finish line, and turn this around, because right now they're not a Super Bowl team.
no,
But
I'll agree there.
can they be? We'll see.
Absolutely, I think that's a great way. Actually, I will. Actually, I will say, we didn't have a special team screw up. That's why we won.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that was not. I was complaining to my wife, "Why did we sign this kicker? Why did we sign this kicker?" And Anders made all his kicks, so
They did.
I'll eat my shoe for that. You look pretty good, Anders. Anyway, we're running out of time here. We got to go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor, RoyalRetros.com. What is Royal Retros? It is your go-to place to get yourself an authentic throwback jersey. Whether you're a football fan, baseball fan, basketball fan, any of the major sports, they got you covered. But for us Bay Area fans, check out the Candlestick collection. It's curated with the Bay Area in mind. And when you find something you like, use the promo code Shady Sports and you'll get 10% off of your entire order. Again, it's promo code Shady Sports. It'll get you 10% off of your entire order at RoyalRetros.com. RoyalRetros.com. Go get yourself an authentic throwback jersey today. We are still also selling t-shirts. Why are we selling t-shirts? It's because we want to spread awareness of owner accountability. We've been inspired for a little over 2 years now. Started with Dan Snyder. Now it's been inherited by David Tepper and, to a lesser degree, Jim Irsay and other owners. All the owners really have some sort of dirt on them one way or the other. But we've been inspired by that to start this hashtag owner standards over player standards, hashtag owner accountability, because there's no reason the owners shouldn't have as much accountability as the players do. We find out about player stuff the second it happens, but then the owners, they just get away with whatever, generally speaking. So we were inspired by that to make these t-shirts, and they are available at bonfire.com. And I'll just rattle through them real quick. The proceeds of these and the other 3 shirts I'm about to show you will help Mountain Comprehensive Care Center in Kentucky. That is the aforementioned Kentucky Crisis Center. But here's our first shirt. It's just the standard logo, owner standards over player standards, and hashtag owner accountability. Lots of colors. All the shirts come in very different styles as well. It can be a t-shirt, long sleeve, a hoodie, a crew neck, your choice. Pricing starting at $22.99. And again, all the proceeds from these shirts are going to Mountain Comprehensive Care Center. This is the alternate logo of the show. I meant to click the original one first, but this is the alternate logo with the goalpost and the peanuts. James does have this shirt, and it's wonderful, so we can approve that the quality of these shirts on Bonfire is top notch. Here's the actual logo. This is what you see before each episode, whether you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us on any of our awesome podcasting platforms. Now you can wear us as a t-shirt. And then our last one is our lovely peanut eating a bowl of peanuts, patiently exhaling and waiting through this bye week before our game in Tampa. And he's got his Niner hat on, some 3D glasses. All these shirts, again, are available at bonfire.com. The link is in the show notes, as well as a link to Mountain Comprehensive Care Center if you want to get some more information on them. Again, all the proceeds will be going to them. We do not want a penny from these t-shirts. So with that, we taped this on Monday, and we're just minutes away from the Steelers probably kicking the crap out of the Giants.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, and I don't know. No news is good news. I guess we're at our bye. We'll see how Christian goes, and we'll let you know what we end up talking about next week. We're still going to be doing a parlay on Friday, and we bounced around a couple ideas of what we're going to do on next Tuesday's show, but we will let you know. Eric, do you have anything you want to say before we head out?
Love's MRI shows no significant damage, so maybe he'll only be out for a week or so. McCaffrey's still set for his return. Fields is the emergency quarterback for tonight. He is not the backup quarterback for tonight. So
who's their third?
I don't even know.
I thought they only had. I'm baffled. He's the emergency quarterback?
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll just look to see who.
Wow. Leave it to Tomlin.
Oh, Kyle Allen.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Leave it to Tomlin to flat out bench Fields. Holy crap.
Yeah. So there you go.
That's super awkward.
So
funny.
I thought that was a very interesting little tidbit. So
no, thank you for telling me that. And that's more evergreen than me saying, well, the game's already happened when you're listening. No, that's fascinating. Wow, poor kid. That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we'll be back on Friday with our parlay episode, and we'll let you know what we end up doing on Tuesday. Like I said, we've been bouncing around some ideas for next week for the bye, but yeah, we will catch you guys on Friday. Enjoy the time off.
Sounds good.
Outro music as well by Justin Muth. It's River Road. Now enjoy your bye week.
See ya.
River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long. River Road, where have all the women gone? Have they kissed her hand and waved you bye-bye? Have they thought about crossing your double yellow lines? River Road, they love the way you whine and cry.